Welcome to First Chapter Friday. This week's book is called Boy 2.0 by New York Times bestselling author Tracey Baptiste. This is a YA fiction that is a fantasy. This is technically a sci-fi thriller, so it kind of lives in both worlds of sci-fi, of mystery, and of fantasy. This book is set amongst the backdrop of racial tensions in America and the foster care system. 13-year-old Cole Keegan is living with a foster father who he thought would be his forever home, but unfortunately that foster father has a mental health crisis and Cole is removed and sent to live with a new family called the McKays. Though they make him feel welcome and they do their best, he has a hard time trusting them because he's already thought he had a forever home that didn't work out. His new situation gets even tougher when he is an artist and he is chalking a memorial to a woman who was shot by the police. And when he is doing that, he gets threatened at gunpoint and he's chased by the police. And the only reason he escapes is because he inexplicably, unknown to him, turns invisible. He tells his best friend what happened and they start to investigate his powers. They wonder if his powers are linked to his real biological family and what this mysterious company called Mirror Tech Industries has to do with it. And throughout the book, he finds himself in all kinds of situations where his safety gets put in danger. So, Boy 2.0, Chapter 1. Let's start with the car and the kid in the back seat and the woman driving it. She's looking straight ahead as if a slight pivot right or left might indicate that she cared even a little bit. The boy already knew she didn't care. It was rare any of them did. That was the job. Too many kids, too many bad situations. It was easier for them to detach. It had been a while since he had moved to a new place, so he almost forgot what people like this lady were like. It was quiet in the car, but the sound of screaming still rung in the kid's ears. The safest place he'd known had turned dangerous at the snap of a finger. He still didn't know what had gone wrong. He focused on the things he knew. It was Tuesday, September, evening. The weather was trending toward cool. He knew better than to ask what had happened to Tom, his guardian of the last 3 years. Quiet Tom, who suddenly started screaming. Gentle Tom, who had been waving a knife when the kid was pulled to safety. The kid looked at the woman driving the car, but he knew that even if she had any answers, she wouldn't tell him. He looked out into the darkening sky as the last hints of sunlight shone between the buildings. The neighborhoods changed. The houses got smaller and closer together. The streets narrowed. Wood fences gave way to chain-link fences. The car hit a bump and the kid's backpack slid off the seat with a thud. Still no movement from up front. Not even a twinge of concern in the laser-focused eyes in the rear-view mirror. A real pro, this lady. The kid closed a hand firmly on the backpack strap. It had his notebooks, pens, plastic baggie full of chalk, sketch pads. His other hand draped over a black duffel bag that contained everything else he needed. Clothes, a couple of pairs of sneakers, an embroidered baby blanket. The car stopped in front of a 2-story cream-colored house with lots of flowers in the garden and in pots that hung from the porch ceiling. A scruffy shrub fence that was in desperate need of trimming leaned all around it. The lady parked the car. "Hold on," she said, and exited. A tall, dark-skinned man, not quite as dark as the boy in the back seat, but then few were, answered the door. He smiled, nodded, looked toward the car. The lady returned and knocked on the kid's window. "Okay," she said. That was it. Okay. Not "welcome to your new home," not "I'm sure this is a little startling," not "your new foster family's name is." The boy slid out, pulled his backpack over his shoulder, and dragged the duffel bag across the seats. He walked awkwardly behind her onto the creaky porch. The man stepped out. "Let me help you with that," he said, reaching for Cole's duffel. Another smile. It was friendly. Not even a hint of pity, which was unusual. The man held the bag against his body with one hand and extended the other. "I'm Jackson McKay," he said. The boy took his hand and got a firm, warm grip. "Win Keegan," the lady said. "This is where you'll be staying." "It's nice to meet you, Win," Jackson said. "That's a great name." "So you're all good then?" the lady said. Not a question, barely a statement. She was already turning to leave. "We're all good," Jackson said. The boy didn't turn back. What would have been the point? He didn't know this lady, and she had done nothing to make his day one iota better. That was why she didn't get named in his story. She didn't matter. He decided he wouldn't even remember her face. If you'd like to read more of this sci-fi thriller, it will be available in the library. Come on down.